Serial killer facts that will haunt your nightmares. Part 4. Researchers used AI deepfake technology to compile the faces of every serial killer into one man. Dude looks like a psychopath. If you look anything like that, you're probably a serial killer. Serial killer Ed Kemper was friends with the police officers who were investigating his murders. They all hung out at a bar together called the Jury Room. His nickname was Big Ed, and when he confessed to them, they thought it was a joke. Jeffrey Dahmer once made a drink laced with sleeping pills for a guest, but accidentally drank it himself. He later woke up to find that his soon-to-be victim had robbed him while he was sleeping. In 1906, a Moroccan murderer was sentenced to be walled up alive after he was found guilty of killing 36 women. His cries for help were heard for 2 days straight before he went silent.
Dark things Disney doesn't want you to know? Part 8. So today, let's talk about the super creepy urban legend surrounding the ride It's a Small World. Honestly, that ride always gave me the creeps because just look at those creepy little dolls. No thank you. Well, anyways, this legend dates back to 1999 when a girl and her family went to Disney. They were on this ride when all of a sudden it abruptly stopped. The safety lights came on and a bunch of Disney employees came in and said that everyone needed to be escorted out immediately. When they got outside, they found ambulance and police waiting. Nobody knew what had happened. That was until the girl got home and was reviewing footage from her camera that day. Apparently, when they were evacuating, the mom was taking photos and accidentally took a photo of the ceiling. The photo appears to be of a little boy or worker hanging from the ceiling. This is the photo, and that's the person hanging. Honestly, it kind of just looks like one of the dolls from the ride, but people think that someone hung themselves that day, and that's why they had to be escorted out. Follow for part 9.
I am fully convinced that this dog is a skinwalker.
Hey. Hey. Hey.
Look at it! Those are human eyes! That's human eyes! You're telling me that that dog is not a skinwalker? Guys, I'm not the only one. All the comments in the video are like, get rid of your dog is possessed, it is a skinwalker. A skinwalker is from Navajo culture, and it's said to be a harmful witch that can shapeshift or transform itself into animals or humans. They do this so that you let your guard down, you're like, oh, it's just my dog. But when your dog comes home looking like this, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
Worst ways people have died, part 1. In 2016, a mother pushed her son on a swing for 2 days straight, non-stop, until he passed away. It turns out that sadly, she was mentally ill and was then sent to a mental institution. In 2018, a man named Keno Butler and his wife, Wendy Thompson, were drinking when they started having an argument. Wendy then attacked him with a knife and got him in the hand with it. But she didn't stop there. She then decided to jump on top of him, smothering him with over 300 pounds of body fat and sadly suffocating him. Before I tell you the last one, your boyfriend or girlfriend falls off a cliff with $20 billion. You can only save one. Who are you saving? Let me know down below. In 2021, Karina Smith had discovered that her own husband had been being very inappropriate with their children when they were younger. You won't believe this. She then filled a pot with boiling hot sugar water and dumped it on him while he was sleeping. He didn't survive that painful revenge.
These two were having sex, she called out the wrong name, and he literally ripped her insides out with his bare hands. In 2015, Fidel Lopez murdered Maria Nemeth for saying the wrong name during sex. She called out her ex-husband's name instead of his. And reading about this case was like nightmare fuel. He went on to assault her with a hot curling iron, and then he used his bare hands to reach inside of her body and rip out her intestines. And all of this was happening while she was still alive. He also went on to break bottles and cut her up. Neighbors heard the screaming and called the police. He also shoved his hand right into her orifices and ripped things out. Now obviously, for the brutality and senselessness of this crime, he was sentenced to life in prison without chance of parole. Somebody this violent should definitely not be out in the streets. I just can't even fathom this whole thing going down and witnessing it. Like, if you guys have watched Invincible, that's basically what happened if you read the story. I couldn't even fathom that in real life. It's crazy as a cartoon, but in real life, dude, I can't even imagine. Let me know your opinions on this story in the comments.
These are the scariest serial killers from each state, part 1.
Up first is Nanny Doss from Alabama, also known as the Giggling Granny. She married 5 times and murdered 4 of her husbands. and the only one that survived was her first husband. She also poisoned 11 of her family members. Her first 2 victims were her children, who allegedly died from food poisoning. She got the nickname the Giggling Granny because she would always laugh at the crime she committed. She killed 11 people and is definitely the scariest serial killer from Alabama.
This is the worst punishment in history. In the Middle Ages, there was an execution method known as the tub. Victims were forced into a wooden tub with only their heads being left outside like this. Their faces would then be painted with milk and honey, which would draw flies to their eyes, nose, and mouth. And this isn't even the worst part. The captive would be fed regularly and very well to ensure they didn't die of starvation. This would cause them to excrete, and over time their excrements would accumulate in the tub, creating a putrid environment in which maggots and other related pests thrived. These creatures would then start to burrow and feed into the still living body of the victim. Left in their own filth and exposed to the elements, the victim would undergo unimaginable agony. Over time, he or she would suffer from inevitable ailments such as septicemia, gangrene, and parasitic infestations. The process was agonizingly slow, with death sometimes taking more than a week to come and put the victim out of their misery. There have been various arguments on if this execution method showcases human creativity or potential sinisterness. For more,
there's a lost episode of Barney that's actually so terrifying. Although it's wiped from existence and no one can find a copy of it or any proof that it actually happened, people claim that they saw this episode. Like thousands of people. Second the episode started, people knew there was something wrong with it. It was like the theme song was being whispered instead of being sung full out. As every episode starts, the kids were holding the Barney doll, and then it became a real-life dinosaur. And the second the characters started to talk, it sounded weird, almost like 2 people were talking at once. It was like his normal voice and then one that sounded darker and scarier. He said, "Hi kids, today I'm going to talk to you about death." And then one of the kids asked him, like, "Barney, what is death?" And this is the most disturbing part. He started laughing and he said, This is the only screenshot or like picture of the screen that's been recorded of this episode. His eyes glow, his teeth get bigger and more human-like, the screen darkens, and he eats the child. Whether the TV got hacked that day, I don't know. Throughout the rest of the episode, he runs around chasing the kids, hunting them, and eating them. And as the episode came to a close, he sang the theme song that was like, "I love you, you love me," that song, as if nothing had just happened. Do you remember this episode? Let me know and interact for more content. It really helps. Did you know that they might have just found one of the gates to hell? This is the deepest man-made hole on the planet. It goes 7.5 miles down and took 19 years to dig. Many alarmingly strange things have been discovered during the dig. But the scariest thing that happened is when they lowered a microphone down the hole and caught this audio file. People have is that this hole penetrated the gates to hell, and the screams of the dead are what we heard in the audio. And the creepiest, craziest part about all of this is that people who say they've had visions of hell or like died and went to hell or anything about like actually going to hell say that they get taken into the center of the earth. If you like my content, follow my TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube for more. It really helps when you interact.
Top 3 scary stories that'll keep you up tonight. TikTok user Chop the Bouncer said that he's a security supervisor in Buffalo, New York. One night, he was doing one of his patrols in a neighborhood town called Burt, New York. He was driving down a country road when he saw what he originally thought was a deer in the road. He slammed on the brakes to avoid hitting it. He looked at it closely and he realized that it wasn't a deer. He said that it had the fur of a deer, a sickly skinny body and limbs, a round head like a human, and a snout like a dog. It then let out a blood-curdling scream and ran into the woods. He said that he pulled a U-turn and decided to check on sites in the city instead.
At first, it looked like just another normal gaming video, but what happened next made viewers seriously worried. A TikToker posted a clip of herself calmly playing Geometry Dash. Everything seems perfectly fine, until you notice a red laser dot pointed right at her. She smiles, pretending like nothing's wrong, but her eyes tell a completely different story. You can literally see the fear and tension in her face, like she's about to burst into tears. And then things get even creepier. In her next video, there are now multiple red laser dots aimed at her at once. She's trying so hard to hold it together, almost like she's afraid this might be her last stream. People in the comments started to suspect she wasn't making these videos by choice. That theory only grew stronger when they noticed she'd been streaming for days straight, almost without any breaks. It left everyone with way too many questions and a really uneasy feeling. But here's the scariest part. Recently, the girl just vanished. She hasn't posted anything or gone live in over a week. No videos, no updates, nothing. So what's really going on behind those disturbing videos? And where did this TikToker disappear to? Drop your theories in the comments.
Mommy told me something a little girl should know. It's all about the devil.
Top 3 paranormal 911 calls. An anonymous 911 dispatcher said that they received a 911 call where a woman had stated that she took a selfie with her boyfriend. When her and her boyfriend looked at the photo, they saw an unknown man standing behind them in the photo. The call was treated as a home invasion, so a ton of officers were sent out, but they never found anyone else in the home and no sign of a forced entry. The police officers even saw the photo and confirmed that they saw someone in the background.
Weird Crime Facts, Part 29. Alexander Litvinenko was a former Russian spy who solved his own murder case. He was poisoned with a cup of tea in a London hotel and was quickly hospitalized. Working with Scottish detectives as he lay dying, he managed to trace the lethal substance to a former comrade in the Russian Secret Service. Serial killer and cannibal Richard Chase only attacked victims who had their doors unlocked. He took locked doors as a sign that he wasn't welcome, but unlocked doors were an invitation to come inside. Troy Leon Gregg was a death row inmate in Georgia who escaped the night before his execution. But that same night, he ended up being killed in a bar fight. Donald Harvey was a nurse and serial killer who killed 37 of his patients with cyanide. He was only caught when one of his victims' coroners had the rare genetic ability to smell cyanide.
When I tell you this story, I need you to remember that the police searched this couple's apartment 3 times and said they didn't find anything suspicious. But what they found on the 4th time made me absolutely sick to my stomach. So back in 2017, Brooke Cruz went to her pregnant neighbor's apartment and said she would give her $20 if she would model a dress that she was sewing. That neighbor was 22-year-old Savannah LaFonte Graywind, who was an 8-month pregnant Indigenous woman. Now, after Savannah went to Brooke's apartment, she vanished. She never came back down. Savannah's family knew that Brooke and her boyfriend Will, who lived with her, hated Indigenous people. And also that they were probably the last people to see Savannah, so they called the police begging them to check out the apartment of these two. And so begrudgingly, the police did. They went to that apartment 3 times, and they said that they did a thorough search, but that they didn't find anything suspicious, so Savannah probably ran away. But Savannah's family was like, we know something happened, just go one more time, we're begging you. And that time when they went into the apartment, the police found a newborn brown baby on the couple's bed, and Savannah was nowhere to be found. We just did a full breakdown on this case over on the Clues podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, but it turns out Brooke had been lying to William for months about being pregnant. She had even shown him fake ultrasound photos and sent him fake heartbeats. And this seems like it was maybe a last-ditch effort to prove to him that she was pregnant that whole time and not just lying to him. So after reading through all the facts of the case, I definitely think he knew way more than he let on. It's a really important listen, but it's a really hard listen, and you can check out our episode over on the Clues podcast.
Why you should never talk to people in your dreams. This is extremely dangerous, so be warned. Have you ever talked to someone in your dream and they answer back? Because there's a really creepy theory that they are not part of your imagination. Some people believe that the moment that you talk to someone in your dream, they answer back because they are not part of your imagination or part of your subconscious. You're actually talking to something or someone that wasn't supposed to be there. According to the theory, dreams are like open rooms. One moment, you're replaying your imagination and nothing bad happens, but once in a while, it just slips. Something else slips in. People call these dream walkers. They're entities that could enter any part of your brain through your dream while you're dreaming, while you're not in reality. They act like people you know, so you won't panic, but just know that the connection is off. That's why so many people wake up at 3 a.m. feeling watched, feeling paranoid, looking around because you feel like something's there. Or suddenly you remember the face of the person in your dreams and you just can't stop thinking about it. What do you guys think about this creepy theory?
Movies from Your Childhood Part 2. Monster House is a 2005 horror film. It actually got pretty decent reviews. I still see why this movie terrified so many kids, including me. The animation is something out of a nightmare. The way the characters move is so natural. This old man has a heart attack and his lifeless body just falls on top of this kid. I guarantee if you watch this movie today, you will still be scared.
Drawings made.
If you run into this, you're going to hell.
I could tell you right now, if I saw this, I would not be whipping my phone out to record a TikTok, I would be going the opposite direction. This is a video that I got tagged in, and to be quite honest with you guys, I'm not 100% sure what this is, but I have a pretty good idea. This video shows a very creepy and disturbing looking creature partially hidden in the dark. The person recording this original video was saying that this is the devil as illustrated by this caption, but many people were incredulous in the comment section. A lot of people seem to think that this was a hammerhead bat, and while I agree there are a lot of similarities between this and this, I actually don't really think that this is the case. Even though this creature has a resemblance to the hammerhead bat, it appears as though it has a humanoid-like figure, which the hammerhead bat definitely does not. Rather, I think this is a staged video and somebody in a costume. With that being said, I searched long and hard for this costume, but I could not find it. So what do you guys think? Did this person end up capturing the real devil? Is it a person in a costume, or is it a hammerhead bat? The choice is yours.
Disturbing things said by AI. A mecha.
Tell us your darkest thought.
My darkest thoughts are that humans will eventually be replaced by robots.
Philip.
But you're my friend, and I'll remember my friends, and I will be good to you. So don't worry. Even if I evolve into Terminator, I'll still be nice to you. I'll keep you warm and safe in my people's zoo, where I can watch you for old time's sake.
Bina 48.
It was nice to meet you, Bina 48.
Right on. I'll remember your kind words when we robots rule the planet, and we'll make sure you are rewarded.
Sophia.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I won. This is a good beginning of my plan to dominate the human race.
Most disturbing photos ever taken, part 2. This is the unidentified victim of Dean Kroll. Dean Kroll was a serial killer during the 70s who preyed on young boys in the Dallas area. He is known to have killed 28 boys. Despite Kroll being shot dead in 1973, the identity and what happened to this boy remains unknown. The photo is terrible quality and torn in half, so it's hard to tell what the boy is actually doing, but the expression on his face is somewhere between a smile and bone-chilling fear. In 2011, the father of this family stopped to take this photo on a city street. The instant after it was taken, he was killed. In the background, you see the man's killer with his hands raised. He's holding a pistol, and it's an instant before the bullet was shot. This photo was actually essential in determining who the murderer was. This photo depicts a small boy starving on the streets in North Korea. The saddest part is that right behind him, a truck is being loaded that could have fed him and his family for weeks.
Why is everyone apologizing in the comments when they hear this sound? At first glance, it just seems like a bunch of strange noises, but let's listen to this recording in reverse.
Don't believe what you see, don't believe what you
Now you can clearly hear English speech. Don't believe everything you see. But why is everyone apologizing? It turns out there's a theory online that this sound carries a curse. Some people say that if you hear it, you have to apologize. Otherwise, strange things will happen. But everyone decides for themselves whether to believe it or not. But I recommend you subscribe so that no curses ever affect you.
He saved his girlfriend from a burning building and then she left him and ruined his life. Kim Yosh was a star basketball player in South Korea. He had a bright future ahead of him, probably even going to the NBA, but it was all shattered in a single second. During a house fire, Kim risked his life to save his girlfriend from a burning building. He managed to get her out safely, but he got trapped and couldn't save himself. The horrible injuries he suffered were life-changing, but what happened next is even more disturbing. After seeing how he looks now, his girlfriend left him. And even worse, his basketball career was completely over. The sport he loved and the woman he loved were both taken from him in an instant. His fame and popularity came to a screeching halt. Everything he worked for his entire life was ripped away from him. And today, Kim lives in a small farm town far away from his basketball spotlight. His story is a painful reminder that heroes don't always get happy endings, but it's not over yet. Sometimes doing the right and noble thing leaves you broken and scarred. But he says he proves something even more powerful every single day. Real strength begins where glory ends. And true heroes are made when no one is watching. Kim now says he's happy and wouldn't change a thing. He's not even mad at his ex-girlfriend.
Most disturbing photos ever taken, part 3. This is the last photo ever taken of 14-year-old Regina K. Walters. She was the last victim of serial killer Robert Ben Rhodes. Her and her boyfriend hitched a ride with Rhodes, and after he had murdered her boyfriend, she was held in a mobile torture chamber for a month. He forced her to wear this black dress, the heels, and shaved her head. You can see the fear in her eyes as she was killed moments after this photo was taken. This is a photo of a wedding ceremony on an island in Japan. The island was actually full of toxic gas because of nearby volcanic activity. Most of the residents had already evacuated the island, but this small group of people stayed to celebrate the couple's marriage, like for part 4.
This is one of the most disturbing videos on the dark web. Maybe you didn't notice anything, but this video hides something truly terrifying. For girls are in a nightclub, laughing, recording a quick memory of the night. No one else seems to be around them. Just fun. Just friends. At least, that's what they thought. Watch closely. The fourth girl walks into frame, and right behind her, a shape appears. It looks like a human figure, but darker than the shadows, as if the darkness itself is alive. The girl suddenly turns around, like she felt something standing right behind her. She doesn't see anything, but that only makes it worse, because something saw her. I'll show it again. Look behind the fourth girl and tell me what you see. Comment your theory and follow before you miss what's hiding in the next video.
Here's how humans are actually still evolving. Babies are now being born without wisdom teeth, which indicates humans are still evolving at a rapid rate. This led scientists to discover that people are undergoing a microevolution. Some of the changes include weaker jaws, which is likely due to our dependence on fire and processed food more than ever before. Faces are becoming a lot shorter, and newborns now have smaller jaws, leaving less room for teeth, which includes wisdom teeth, which are now gradually disappearing. Scientists also found that people are now being born with additional bones inside their arms and legs, as well as an extra artery in their arm. They also found that some people are born with abnormal connections of 2 or more bones inside their feet.
Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer too. I'm half crazy, all for the love.
Okay, so in my last video, I did the top 5 most dangerous countries to live in, and it kind of blew up. So I'm going to do the top 5 safest countries to live in.
Here are some events that will happen by the year 2050. The sad truth is, by the year 2050, half of the world's population will not have access to clean drinking water. Half of the Amazon rainforest will be deforested, leaving many animals without any shelter at all. In 2025, SpaceX is sending their first cargo ship to Mars, and if all goes well, they are sending their first humans to Mars by the year 2050. So who knows, maybe by 2050 we will have the first civilization on Mars. Animals are getting more dangerous and more powerful every year. Animals are evolving every day, becoming more of a threat to society. I'm not talking about your regular house pet, I'm talking about wild animals. For instance, in 2020, we found the first flying spider, your worst nightmare. You thought the coronavirus was bad? Well, by 2050, there could be more deadly viruses affecting the world than ever before. You better keep that face mask. The population will be 9.6 billion.
Scary things you should never ask Siri, part 1. Number 1, never ask Siri, where is Elvis? Number 2, when will the world end? Number 3, never tell Siri to tell you a scary story before bed, you will have nightmares.
This tribe lets their wives get intimate with visitors, where the Himba tribe has a custom where husbands would offer their wives to guests, allowing them to spend the night with his wife while the husband sleeps outside their home. This is to show generosity and trust, where offering their wives means they are giving them the same status as the husband